Welcome to day 3, I believe, of our 2024 Blitz training. Today we have a nice full schedule for you. Starting at 11 o'clock, we're going to be talking about the Microsoft PowerPoint presentations that BHHS has available for you. Then we're going to move on at 12 o'clock to talk about Chalk Digital. At 1 o'clock, we will have Buyside/Percy AI in again. And then at 2 o'clock, hopefully you can all join us because that is a brand new program for us at the company called CoreFact. It's another way to do prospecting, both digital and in direct mail. It's a really neat program. It complements a lot of the other tools that we already have. So hopefully you can join us today. Along for the ride today, we also have Haley, who is in our training department. She's going to be helping me out today with any questions. So if you do have any questions about this PowerPoint presentation, do go ahead and either hit the raise your hand button or go ahead and put it in chat. She'll interrupt me if needed. Otherwise, we'll take some Q&A at the end. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen at this time, and let's go ahead and take a look at some of these BHHS presentations that are available for you in Microsoft PowerPoint. Get my dual screen set up here. That way I can keep an eye on you guys as well. All right. So one of the nice things that you have available to you from RW Town will be the Outlook account and our Microsoft Office 365 products. We've talked about Microsoft Forms already. We've already talked about Microsoft Bookings. One of the other tools that you can use to kind of tie all this together will be Microsoft PowerPoint, which is used in a lot of the different BHHS products. They do have it available for us so that we can customize some of our own presentation materials that we're sending out. Now, there's lots of different ways to get these presentation materials for home buying and home selling. Probably the most popular way, of course, is that they are available through our marketing department. You can always put in a marketing order form if you need one of the listing presentation books that are already created that also have some of our local information in them. The presentations are also available in marketing resource if you need it. We do have another tool available to us with Toolkit CMA that has these these presentations in it as well. And these are, of course, different ways to create that presentation. But on occasion, we have the need to be able to do a listing presentation in PowerPoint where we may want to go ahead and customize some of those tiles. We may want to go ahead and customize some of those pages and add some of our own information. We can always save this, and we can even send it down to the marketing department to have it added into a custom listing presentation. You can always save it and you just use it for future reference if you're printing out your own for whatever you need, especially if they're pages you're going to use all the time. But a lot of times we'll need to have that PowerPoint presentation. So we might be able to do an online presentation for somebody. This especially if they're out of town or they're not able to get to the office. You're not able to sit in front of them. You can actually use PowerPoint to do that presentation for them. And then you can actually share it in a Teams link. I'm going to show you that button today. It's kind of neat to be able to have a Teams meeting and be able to have that PowerPoint right on the screen. Sometimes you may just need to go ahead and share it with somebody else as well. So let's take a look at all the different places where we can get this. And I'm going to show you where you can find the PowerPoint presentations on the Resource Center. So just as a reminder, Resource Center is really easy to get into. If I'm on rwtconnect.com, everybody should have an account. All you have to do is click that big BHHS resource button right there, and it's going to take you automatically in to BHHS Resource Center. Now, just remember the difference between the two. rwtconnect.com is our local intranet. That's where we have all of our local tools and we tie into all those different national tools. And one, of course, those national tools is the Resource Center, which is the intranet for BHHS, which, of course, is their global intranet. Every single agent within the global network has access to this Resource Center. Nice, easy way to find things, including what we're going to be looking for today, is going to be this big search bar right up here at the top, right across from the Resource Center logo. Now, this is a little bit different if you're on tablet or mobile, but there is a search bar there. If you don't see the full search bar, do take a look for either the search button or take a look out for the magnifying glass. The search bar will be under there as well. You can go ahead and type what you're looking for in here. In this case, in order to get to those PowerPoint presentations, I'm just going to go ahead and put either home buying or home selling. Either one will take you to the same page. And once I click search, notice that it's going to bring up everything that's available for us here in our knowledge base. And we're looking for something like this, the home selling presentation or marketing proposal. If I click that, it's going to actually bring me to the page within Resource Center that houses all of these different PowerPoints that we can go ahead and download. I want you to just take a look at the different things that are available. One of the reasons why I like to show that these PowerPoints are available on here, because they also have different language versions. So if you are in need of a Spanish, French, or Italian version of this presentation, they are available in PowerPoint here as well. So you can go ahead and download those and use those if you need to. For those of you who are working some urban markets, of course, we do have some agents who are working in the Richmond market. We also have a number of agents who are working in Norfolk. You can also download the urban/city version of this presentation, which just changes some of the imagery to something a little bit more urban. We're going to take a look at a couple of these today, but I want you to notice right here, we have the marketing proposal listing presentation PowerPoint. This is the traditional long version. This is going to be that book form of that long version. It's going to have lots and lots and lots of different pages. I am going to show you that in just a second. And then we also have this condensed version, which is the marketing proposal listing presentation PowerPoint. And this is the horizontal version of that, and it's going to just be less pages. So this is something that I would traditionally use if I also wanted to supplement with a lot of local information in here as well. Continuing on down, we do have the individual listing presentation pages. Some of these are available to be customized, some of them are not. But for those of you who are using the Forever Agent system and also using the full home buyer, home seller presentations, those commitment forms are also available in PowerPoint. So if you did want to customize some of those commitment forms and add some of your own information in there and just customize it, you can also do that. Also available, they do have just the simple letter docs in both Cabernet and Black. That way you can go ahead and add just kind of a blank page on here as well. And then they also have some other presentation sheets. If you've not seen some of these presentation sheets, they're great complements to our listing presentations. You can also add those in. Things like the website analytics, different media, how buyer match works, our global syndication. This is probably the one that we see the most, is global syndication being requested. Some of these pages down here at the bottom don't really pertain to us, but they're global network marketing presentation sheets. Just remember that I said that this is available to every single agent within the global network. So obviously these would pertain to all of our agents in all of these different areas around the world. They're kind of fun to take a look at, by the way, if you ever have not had a chance to take a look at some of our global marketing products. Really easy to download these PowerPoint presentations. I'm going to go up and show you how you can download those. So we have the marketing proposal listing presentation PowerPoint. If I just click on this, it's actually taking me into something that looks really similar to marketing resource when we download. It's just going to have a blank version. It's okay if it says Allison and Doyle. Allison and Doyle is the fake real estate company that they use for all of our different products. I'm going to show you how you can swap out that logo today. This is that long form traditional one. So notice it has lots of different things. These are all the different pieces that we would have to update. We would certainly want to update this with all of our personal information, but it is going to have all of the different imagery and things like that that come from BHHS. So we have all of these different signs and things like that that are generic that won't have to be pulled in. So you can certainly go ahead and use the download button up here at the top. It's going to download wherever it happens to download on your computer. In mine, it happens to go to a download folder, in which case, as soon as I double click on that, it's going to open up in PowerPoint. Again, same thing. We have that condensed version. If I just go ahead and open that up, just give you a sneak preview of it before I open it up here. There's that horizontal version. And of course, it's going to have lots of different things that we can fill in, including our testimonials, how can I help you, and things like that. There's that home services commitment form. Again, if I click that, it's just going to go ahead and bring it in. We can certainly go ahead and download that and update that as well on here. So just for the sake of time today, I do already have these open in PowerPoint so that we can take a look at how to modify those. They're nice and easy to modify. I have a couple of different versions in here. So let's take a look at that condensed version. It's probably the easiest one to change here. Notice that I've already changed the logo on here for us this morning. Just as a reminder, because the logo is going to be one of the first things that you need, you are able to download all of these logos on RWT Connect at any time. Let me show you where you can go ahead and do that. If I am on rwtconnect.com, all I have to do is go over to the marketing tab. Once I click on marketing, it's going to open up all the items that are available under the marketing tab. It may have to reload here. I've been logged in for a little bit this morning. Hopefully I did not blip. I might have blipped. I've been logged in since really early this morning, and I think it's going to blip on me. That's okay. Under marketing, the marketing tab, you can go ahead and download. We have a folder called logos, and you can go ahead and download all the logos that are available under there. I'll come back to that a little bit later and make sure that it's working, and then we can go ahead and take a look at that. It's really easy to change photos in PowerPoint. So it's opened up in PowerPoint here. All I have to do is other click. So the right click that you use on your mouse and hit change picture. Hopefully you have the photos that you need for your PowerPoint presentation already downloaded. This is going to include things like happy clients, your own photos, maybe your subject property, things like that. I'm going to actually change the picture from this device because I have it all downloaded. I have it all downloaded for me right in a folder that makes it nice and convenient here, but all I'm going to do is go ahead and choose that logo. I'm actually going to swap that out for Cabernet. And I can go ahead and change that. The nice thing is this presentation can also be updated. So if I don't want it up here in this main photo, maybe I want to swap this out for a really pretty picture of something else. I can always move that photo down here or that logo down here if I wanted to as well. The nice thing about these photos is they work just like any other editor. Anytime you see those circles that go around those logos or any of those photos, you can just drag those to resize. If you drag a corner, it's going to make sure that it stays in proportion there, and then we can just go ahead and move it around. Just remember, if you are going to print this, you're not going to want to put something toward the end, and anything that falls off to the right or left-hand side, top or bottom, is not going to print. It will actually print without the E if I sent that to the printer right now. Just want to make sure that we're leaving enough margin. One of the things I do love about PowerPoint is notice that it's giving me some guidance here that says, hey, this is where that outside margin is. And with those little arrows there, and it's letting me know that that aligns with the marketing proposal on that left-hand side, and also is letting me know that I have enough room there so that it will print if I need to move it off. Hold on one
Hey,
second for
Kristen.
me. Go ahead.
Karen says that she can't get into RWT Connect either.
Okay. All right, let's take a look here real quick. Give me 1 second. Well, okay, RWT Connect seems to be blipping a little bit, but that's only good news because that means that we are putting in an upgrade. So I'll let you in on a little secret since you have all decided to join me this morning. We do the majority of our upgrades and updates to all of our different products, including RWT Connect, on Wednesdays. I was hoping I was going to be ahead of the update schedule. Usually it doesn't start until noon, but it looks like we might have hit it, but that's okay. It just means that there's an upgrade happening, and we'll let you know what exciting new features we have put in today. Probably in an email later this week. So for those of you who are trying to log in and it might be blipping on you a little bit, just hang in there. That update and upgrade will be done soon. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. I will come to that back at the end and just refresh and just see if I can get in and show that to you at the end. All right, so let's take a look at this presentation again. So we've changed out that photo. So we do have the ability in here again to change that photo. All I have to do is click on it. This happens to be a generic neighborhood photo. If I don't want to fill this, if I don't want to change this, I don't have to. Certainly you can explain a neighborhood just on that. If you do have a customized photo of the neighborhood, this is a great opportunity to be able to put in that entryway, maybe a home that you've already sold in the neighborhood, something that would just be identifiable as the neighborhood, just to give it some customization. This is a great opportunity to do that, especially because it looks like you've really taken the time to customize that presentation. I'm not going to go ahead and change that photo, but we do have the ability to change text anywhere we see all these different generic texts on here. So all I have to do is click into those boxes. And again, I can change that. So let's just say, this is King's Grant. I happen to be in our Williamsburg office today, so I am going to make this Williamsburg, Virginia. Now, If you don't want to use it for the neighborhood and then again, the city name, if you want to put something more customizable here, you can certainly go ahead and do that. This is where we start to get into the features of the home that we're looking at here for our listing presentation. Make sure that anytime that you see these brackets that you're making changes on here, you're going to want to make sure that you go through this page by page and just make sure that you've covered anything that might be marked in red or anything that's marked in brackets. This means that we need to go ahead and enter that information in here. And of course, it's just prompting you on what you want to change. So here's the short description of the property in the neighborhood. And of course, your home's features. And again, these are just nice bullet points. Everything is nicely formatted for you already. And it's just giving you some prompts of things that you might want to put in here. If this home has other features, certainly feel free to do that. You can certainly say 2 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths or something like that. And then maybe we're going to change this bullet to overlooking the water. You can do whatever you want to on here. And again, nice and easy to change photos. All I'm going to do is click. It's going to bring those circles around there to the edges. And I'm going to use my other mouse click and change my picture from this device. And let's go ahead and put this house in here instead. And notice that it's automatically formatting that for the size that was already in there. One of the nice things about doing these PowerPoint presentations and is that we'll resize your photos for you based on the original photo that was already in there. And again, well, why is Berkshire Hathaway good to know? Good to know. Remember that DBA? That DBA just means that it wants you to enter your company name. So here we're going to add RW Town Realty. And of course, there's those brackets again. It's going to want you to change that information on here. Now, if this information for whatever reason doesn't work, we do, of course, have value statements and information about the company on rwtown.com. You can always copy and paste just kind of a little about the company section if you needed to. You do have the ability to update your agent name and any other accolades. And remember, this is just prompting you. Here's that little elevator pitch bio. We talk about this when we do our web classes as well, that's the 2 to 3 sentence. Hey, this is just about me. And then we can go ahead and maybe put some experience in here. We do have the ability, of course, email, phone numbers, your website, any other relevant information in here. This is also a good place to maybe drop in some of your social media handles. You'll certainly want to connect with people online. However you want people to connect with you, this is that space to do it in. And again, all we have to do to swap out things like our headshots is going to be a generic headshot here. We're going to click. We're going to change that photo. Hopefully we have it downloaded somewhere, and we can swap out for a different headshot. There's a good opportunity here to show you that photo again. Notice that that photo is a little bit wider than that space that this presentation is using, and it did resize it down to that space for us. It's going to give you the ability to put in some notable sales. Again, some people will use this for sales, some people won't. Some people will just use the MLS printouts if they want to, but you do have the ability to just customize this presentation and add some sales, add some talking points if you need to. Again, we can go ahead and change those photos and add that information. Total comparable to the home that I put in here is the subject, but it is what it is. We have the ability to put some things in for some happy clients. And again, nice and easy to change those photos. We're just going to do that other click and change that photo. Let's pull in some happy clients here. And notice that it went ahead and did that. And then we can, of course, just go ahead and put in their testimonials. You should all have a nice collection of testimonials about working with you if they've come in from some of our company surveys or hopefully some of the notes that you've been able to receive from clients. Just make sure that we have permission to use those in a presentation before you put it in here. You never know who will see it. Anytime you get something back from a company survey, it should say whether you have the ability to put it in advertising, yes or no. Most people check yes. And those are fine to put in there. We just want to make sure we're getting permission to put photos and testimonials in there from our clients. We have the ability now to put online testimonials. So if you have a bunch of 5-star reviews from any of your different sources, and certainly our internal surveys also have a star system on it, you are welcome to go ahead and put some testimonials in here. And again, anytime you're seeing that information, you can just go ahead and click into any of those different boxes and you can go ahead and change that information. It works the same as any other word processor. So then we start to get into how can I help you? Again, remember, this is the short version here. So this is just going to start to go into some of the stuff that you're used to. the home selling process, different things here. Now, this is a nice opportunity if you have some different customizable pieces in your home selling process that you can certainly go ahead and put those in here. This is a great place. We have the design and implement the marketing plan. If you have a really specific bullet point that you want to put in here, you can certainly go ahead and do that at this point, just to differentiate your own marketing plan from someone else. We do have the marketing your property. And again, anytime you see any of these photos, they are changeable. So you can go ahead and click on this and swap it out if you needed to, if you want to swap it out for something a little bit different. And it's going to go into promoting your property to prospective buyers. Now, again, you can certainly go ahead and swap this out. This is a good opportunity, like your photography and video. Perhaps you have a great aerial still of one of your properties that you'd like to go ahead and put on here just to kind of give it a different demonstration. You can certainly go ahead and click on that and swap out that photo. If you do really specific open house type marketing, if you do maybe a broker open house and you want to go ahead and put that on here, this is where you can go ahead and change that as well. This talks all about our networking. Again, you can go ahead and change any of these photos and some of this information if you want to build it out. And just as a reminder, again, do keep an eye out for those little brackets that say insert DBA. This is where you're going to want to insert RW Town Realty in here just to make sure that it's all customized. Some of these pages you should be fairly familiar with, things like the virtual home marketing system, marketing plan for the property. This is all updatable. Notice this one has a giant red button on it because it is a sample. It's going to want you to go ahead and change all this information out with your own dates and some of your own information. You can just go ahead and copy all of this. The nice thing is if you need more space, anytime you might want to duplicate a slide because you need more, if you hover over any of these slides over here on the left-hand side and you use your mouse button to click, it'll come up with a duplicate slide or even a delete slide if you need it. So a marketing plan for your property. Maybe you want to make this 2 pages because you have a nice long marketing plan. You can always duplicate this slide. It's going to bring in a second copy. So now page 17 here is also identical. This works really well too if you want to have something really visual like this. You maybe want another category of 6 photos and another headline. We can always duplicate that slide as well if we need to. And again, anytime you want to delete it, maybe we're not going to introduce this home marketing program, we can just hover over it and delete our slide. And it just moves everything up and down for us. Just continuing on here, just so you can see some of the more in the condensed. We have this traditional stuff of establishing pricing, understanding market values. This is where we get into our comparative market analysis. This is all set up in a nice grid form and it's already set up for you. So you can just go ahead and click into any of these boxes. It works the same as Microsoft Excel. So if I want to put in our subject property is 123 Main Street, I'm just using my tab, believe it or not, to put in 4 bedrooms, hitting tab, 3 baths, number of garage spaces, 2. I'm just hitting tab to keep moving over. I can do that. Can also use my mouse to click in any of these different cells and to keep moving over. And again, similar properties that recently sold. Some of you may be using the grid out of the MLS, or maybe you have another source that you've built for this, but this allows you to put some information in here if you'd like to. And then don't forget to delete that box when you're done for the sample, complete with your own data. It works just like anything else. If I just click on it, I can hit the delete button on my keyboard and it's going to go ahead and just take that away and everything formats right where it needs to be. Remember, we're keeping an eye out for those brackets. We're keeping an eye out for anything that might be marked in red. Now, this is an interesting slide because this is just a sample of showing you how to make this happen with this analysis graph. We're actually going to want to delete this because it's given us the actual analysis graph in the second one. Now, again, if you don't want to use either one of those pages, you can go ahead and delete them, but you're certainly going to want to delete out the example before you publish it, just because we're not going to use the sample in any of our books. So I'm going to pretend I filled that out. I'm just going to go ahead and hit that delete slide again, just to show you how you can do that. We've gone all the way to the end here. We need to swap out that logo again. So there's that Allison and Doyle, which of course is the fake real estate company from Berkshire Hathaway. And if I go ahead and change that photo, I'm going to change it from this device. I need the white version of our logo here. And just going to pop that in. There we go. So I have finished this. I'm going to pretend I have filled in all of this information and I can go ahead and do a couple of things right from here. I can go ahead and just save it and I can come back to it later if I want to. I can go ahead and save it as a PDF. I can do all sorts of fun things with this. One of the things I want to show you though, you do have the ability to save. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And if I go up to the very top up here where it gives me my file name right here, it's going to give me a couple of different options here for where I would like to save this. I've actually saved this to my OneDrive. Every single agent in the company has access to OneDrive through your RW Town office account. So if you did want to save this on OneDrive so that you could access this again from maybe you're working on it on a desktop and then you want to show it off on a tablet later, and you need to be able to move that file around, you can actually access it as long as you're logged in to your office account on your tablet or even on your phone. You actually have access to your OneDrive to be able to access these files anywhere. It's a really nice feature to have, especially if you're moving from device to device, or you're moving from office to home, or if it's something that you want to share from an online location with somebody else, maybe your virtual assistant, or maybe even your transaction coordinator who might need access to this, somebody who might do some marketing for you. You can also send the marketing department your OneDrive links if you need to. So if you happen to want this printed in hardbound when you're finished with it, or maybe you want us to add a couple of pages and then you want us to print it and hardbound it, you can always share from your OneDrive link to be able to send that to us as well, instead of just sending us the full PowerPoint. This PowerPoint in particular happens to be fairly small, but if you really get going in here and you start adding things like some video backgrounds, or you start adding some really high-end photos and things like that, these PowerPoint files can get absolutely enormous. Sometimes it's nice to be able to save it in OneDrive and just be able to share that link instead of trying to email something that's so huge. While our marketing department can take those huge files, a client might not actually be able to. Last thing I wanted to show you here real quick is that you do have some buttons up here at the top if you're signed in to your Office account, your Office 365 account, and you have the Teams app downloaded. So I happen to be on my desktop today and I do have Teams app actually downloaded. I'm not using the browser version on here. You do have the ability to have present in Teams on here. So if you happen to be having a meeting with somebody, maybe this is a potential client, somebody who's out of town, maybe a relocation client is a good example of something like this, or even just somebody who's just, hard to pin down with an in-person appointment. You can always send them a Teams link to have a Teams meeting, an online meeting, just like we're having today. And you do have the ability to present this in Teams. This may take a second to load. Hopefully not. But it's actually going to load this presentation live in PowerPoint. Now, I wish you could see what I see on my end, but my end actually gives me some tools that I can actually write on this presentation. I can do some voiceover on this presentation. I can even put my little photo in the corner if I wanted to, but this allows me to have a presentation that I can share with my clients. You guys get to be my clients today. One of the other things that I can see on my end is that it's only sharing the presentation. I can actually see my talking points and my notes on here, and I can actually see what the next slide is. So it's just like having a PowerPoint presentation that you might use on your desktop or on your tablet, except it's being presented live in our Teams link instead. Let me stop presenting that. We can go back. I'm hopeful this has been helpful for you today to just see how you can use PowerPoint to either customize some of our presentation materials or even create your own in PowerPoint to be able to either share on Teams or even share with the marketing department and things like that. If anybody has any questions, I would love to take them. Any questions? All right, so before we end this session, let me go back to RW Town real quick. And it looks like everything is up and running. And I do apologize about that. I was hoping that we would have this particular session done ahead of our upgrade, but let me show you the piece I wanted to show you in here. If you go to that marketing tab right here, you'll notice that we have a button here called logos and disclaimers. And this is where you can download your disclaimers that you might need and any logos. And we do give an example of the logo here. We do have the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary logo, and they're used for different things. The majority of time, 99.9% of the time, we're using that primary logo. We do occasionally use the secondary logo. It's pretty rare we use that tertiary logo. It's really only made for something that has a very limited amount of narrow space to it. We usually use one of these two on here. If you click on that link, it actually takes you to our SharePoint account in Microsoft 365, which allows you to download these individual files. So just as a tip and hint, just in case you're not sure, anytime you see a .png, that means it has that transparent background. That allows me to put that white logo or that Cabernet logo or that black logo on top of another photo, and it's completely clear in the background. The JPEG is going to have a white background on it. So if you're using it for something like a PowerPoint presentation and you want to put the logo on top of a big Cabernet background, or you want to put that logo on top of another photo, you're going to want that PNG. If you're just putting it on top of something that's white, you can certainly use the JPEG. Really easy. If you've never downloaded photos from us before, all you have to do is go to, we'll just download the black one again. I'm just going to go ahead and put a dot next to that and then go right up here and hit download. And it went into my downloads folder, and here it is, it's done. If you download more than one logo, it's going to actually download that as a zip file. If you're not comfortable using zip files for whatever reason, or you just don't want a zip file, just go ahead and download them individually. It doesn't take that long to do. But if I were to try to download multiple logos at one time, notice that it's going to download a zip file that I would have to open and then extract. Everybody should have the ability to open those and extract those zip files on your computer. But again, if you just want to download the logo by itself without having to go through the zip process, just go ahead and download them one at a time. So just use the one click there. All right, I was glad I was able to get back to that to be able to show you where those logos are, because that's one of the questions we get all the time. Karen, did you have another question?
Yeah, we can do the same thing with the RW Town listing presentation as far as bringing it in and making changes through PowerPoint.
We should have let me double check to see if we have that PowerPoint version on here. Anytime we have it, we have the PPT version here. So some of these are going to be PDFs on here. This is the BHHS one. So that's, I was in the exact same place on BHHS where this is actually downloading from as well. So those are PowerPoints on there as well.
But they're not, but they're the Berkshire Hathaway PowerPoints and not the ones created through our marketing department.
Those are going to be the PDFs that are not changeable by PowerPoint.
Okay.
Let me double check with marketing and see what's available on PowerPoint, and I'll have them send out just a follow-up email on that.
Okay.
All right, that was a great question. Thank you. All right, did anybody else have any other questions before I let you all go? No other questions today? All right. Well, I thank you again for being here. Hopefully you will join us again for our next session. So that next one will be at 12 o'clock, and that will be Chalk Digital. They're going to be showing us the ALP program, and they're also just going to give us a brief overview of the other products that are available in Chalk Digital. This is actually going to be trained by one of the directors at Chalk Digital today, so hopefully you'll be able to join us. And thank you so much.